and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Ducks Know Sports. This week, we're previewing Week 10 of the NFL. Should be interesting because Week 10, that means we can finally start talking about playoffs. Because the first 9 weeks are out of the way. Week 10, this is when stuff starts to get serious. This is when the contenders start to show up. This is when the pretenders start to fade away. And we got a lot of interesting games this week. And it's going to be a good week. You know, a lot of interesting games this week, and a lot of teams that have something to prove this week, so it should be interesting. Of course, as always, we have the Arizona Cardinals, Cleveland Browns, Green Bay Packers, and the Washington Redskins, all on byes, all teams going in different directions, as the Cardinals and Browns have not had a good season. Cardinals got off to a good start, but haven't done much since week 4. Packers, you know, really starting to come on hot and heavy right now. Could be a dark horse team to win the Super Bowl right now. A team that I wouldn't want to play if I'm in the NFC. And the Redskins, after a promising start, starting to fade away a little, and maybe just shows that maybe they're just not ready to be a playoff team yet in the NFC East. But let's talk about our first matchup of the week. The Atlanta Falcons, the undefeated Atlanta Falcons, still undefeated, traveling to New Orleans to take on New Orleans Saints. Good old NFC South showdown, a little slug match, if you will. And we'll start with the Atlanta Falcons, who it's very interesting to hear the talk out of Atlanta right now, because players have made it known that they are not happy on the coverage that they are getting. Undefeated, and they are starting to talk like they don't get enough respect, which I totally agree with. They're not getting the respect that usually an undefeated team at this time usually gets. I mean, usually when you get to Week 10 and you're undefeated, it starts to talk, can this team run the table? Is this team going to the Super Bowl? You don't really hear that when you talk about the Atlanta Falcons. You know, it seems like people are just waiting for this team to fail. It seems like a lot of people don't take this team seriously, probably because of their playoff failure in the past, but has something to do with it. But just not taking this team seriously. And a guy like Tony Sgala saying, you know, I don't know what more we have to do to prove to people that we are this good. And like I said, this seems like everybody's just waiting around, waiting for them to lose. And which I kind of get, because I do think this is the best team in the NFC right now. I mean, on offense, you have Julio Jones on one side. You got Rodney White on the other side. Very lethal. In the middle, you still have Tony Sgala, who is not a spring chicken by any means, but can still get it done, and still, in my opinion, still a top 3 tight end in this league. And in the backfield, the Atlanta Falcons, what are they known for? Running the football. And Michael Turner, week by week, is getting a little better. Those legs are getting a little fresher. And it looks like they are a complete offense right now, led by, in my opinion, who is the first half MVP, Matt Ryan. Very, very impressive way Atlanta's playing. And on defense, you know, it's been their Achilles heel the last couple of years. But this team, like, the defense is kicking ass right now. I mean, without Witherspoon last week, still played great. And a team that is very scary. Like a team that can, on defense, can beat you, can rush the passer. Very good at rushing passers this year, and very good in the defensive backfield. They have a lot of ball hawks back there. Very, very impressive. The Atlanta Falcons might be the best complete team in the NFL right now. That's why they are undefeated. And it will be interesting this week, because they're playing a team in New Orleans who, well, the backs were against the wall last week. Really played well against a very struggling Philadelphia Eagles team, yes, but really played well. And if they lost that game, you know, it would have been season over if it isn't already over. But that being said, this team still has a lot of holes. I mean, their defense is still one of the worst defenses in the league. And if it's really not Drew Brees, this team isn't really getting it done. I mean, Drew Brees is having a great year as always, but they can't run the football consistently enough, and on defense they're giving up big plays to bad teams, and lost a lot of games this year. Probably shouldn't have lost. They lost those games, and like I said, before I said at the start of the season, man, there's going to be this dark cloud over the Saints this whole year about Bountygate, and it just seems to follow them like a bad disease every week. And then it got worse for them last week, as it came out that Sean Payton's contract extension that he signed 2 years ago got voided by the league because their GM, Mickey Loomis, got suspended, so it got voided because of that. And if I'm Sean Payton, maybe I would leave. He would be leaving in the worst possible time, but you have to know when the cupboard is bare. And it looks like New Orleans Saints, it looks like they're more going this way than that way right now. And I would leave if I was Sean Payton, but hey, that's just me. And they're playing a really, really good, tough Atlanta Falcons defense. And Atlanta Falcon team, I know Atlanta struggled going Superdome in past years, but I just think these are two teams going in the opposite direction right now. And I believe Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons go into the Superdome and punch the New Orleans Saints in the mouth and take this one and beat down the Saints by 2 scores. All right, our next matchup. The Houston Texans, another team, a very good team that doesn't get the proper respect I think they deserve, as I think they are the best overall team in the AFC. Travels to Chicago. Chicago take on the Bears, who their defense, why are they kicking ass? But get down in a minute. But first, talk about the Houston Texans. As I said, Houston Texans not getting the type of respect that a good team is getting. Are they a good team? Yes. Are they a great team? Of course. They are, in my opinion, the best team in the AFC. I mean, from top to bottom, they have a great offense. They can run the ball with Foster. They still have Andre Johnson on the outside, so they can still throw it. And Matt Schaub is still a great quarterback in this league. Maybe not elite quarterback, but definitely a second-tier type guy. A really, very good quarterback. Maybe not great, but a very good quarterback. And on defense, they lost Cushing, and it looked like it would hurt them, but, they're still getting it done. They can get after the passer like no tomorrow. I mean, J.J. Watt is just a beast. Anyone who thought this guy would be busting the league was dead wrong. And this guy is just kicking ass right now. And I really like the way Houston's playing. Very well coached team. They don't really make a lot of stupid mistakes out there. And like I said, on offense, they're a complete package. On defense, complete package. And they are the best overall team in the AFC, in my opinion. But they're playing a team in Chicago who is, I believe, is 2 interception turn away from breaking a NFL record, and we are in week 10. We still got 7 more weeks to go. That just shows you how dominant this defense has been this year from start to finish. This defense is great. I mean, they've always had a good defense, but they never seem to have those ball hawks back there to pick balls off. Well, now they have it. So now they are the complete defense and maybe the best defense in the league. That might sound crazy, but they might be the best defense in the league. But this team's Achilles heel has to be their offense. Jay Cutler, when his chips are down, just not get it done. In big primetime games, Jay Cutler just doesn't get it done. That's why they brought in his old buddy, Brandon Marshall, in the offseason to help with that, And a few games this year on primetime, they have looked good against the Dallas Cowboys. Comes Monday Night Football, where they just kick the Dallas Cowboys' ass. But again, it still goes back to this team. This team isn't really measured by this game. It's going to be more measured by a game in mid-December when they play the Green Bay Packers. That's going to be the big game for the Chicago Bears this season, because that's the one team that's beat them this year, and that's a team they always seem to struggle with. But that's not for a few more weeks, and we're talking this week, and I just think, I know Chicago's only lost once. They're at home, Soldier Field, Sunday Night Football under the big lights with Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth, but I just think Houston's just a beat faster, a beat stronger, and a beat better. And I think the Houston Texans go into Chicago, Soldier Field, tough place to play, but I think the Houston Texans come away with a W. In our next game, we're going to talk about the Monday Nighter. The Kansas City Chiefs, the woeful, the horrible, the disgusting to watch Kansas City Chiefs travel to Heinz Field to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry, Kansas City. What more can we say about Kansas City we didn't say last week? I mean, they are just, awful. To break it down, they are just an awful team right now. Not getting it done. I mean, from a team who I'm very shocked is this bad. Because I really thought they were going to be a team. I thought they even challenged the Broncos in the West, or even the Chargers in the West. I thought they would be right up there in the West, like they were last year, but this team has just fallen off. Their defense is just awful. Their coaching staff, which I thought Rome Cannell was a good hire in the offseason, bringing him back after being an interim last year, but he has not worked out at all. And it's just this team has imploded. I mean, has this team quit on their coach? I don't know. I'm not saying they've quit on the coach. But something has to change in the offseason with this Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe it's a quarterback switch. Maybe you finally go in the draft and you get that top-rated QB, which has really, really got away from them as they haven't really gone off after a big QB in the draft. Maybe you have to start thinking about that. And a team, they can run the football like there's no tomorrow. Offensive line's all right. Receivers besides Dwayne Bowe, nothing really there. Cover Carna Bear. And on defense, like I said, just awful. They're giving up big play after big play after big play. Not playing well. I think Kansas City Chiefs are in trouble this week because they're playing a Pittsburgh Steelers team who is red hot. I mean, they played New York Giants last week, and New York Giants playing better than anyone right now. And they went in there and came from behind and won. They still won the game, but they had to come from behind. But just shows the mental toughness that the Pittsburgh Steelers have after all these years. I mean, Big Ben, I say it, it seems like I say it every week. Big Ben is the most underrated QB in the NFL today. I mean, nobody thinks this guy is an elite QB, but I think he's elite QB because all this guy does is win. Does he put up flashy numbers? No. Does he put up, 400 passing yard games and 6 TD games? Not really, but at the end of the day, he puts up the most important stat, which is winning. He always seems to come and win. And Big Ben, just a winner. Already won 2 Super Bowls in his career. Will probably win a lot more Super Bowls in his career if all goes according to plan. And I think this week will be, no question, a team that's playing red hot on defense. Still playing well without Troy. Still playing well. And a team on offense, can now run the football, which makes their offense not just so one-dimensional, makes them a very tough offense with. You still got the 2 speeders on the outside, now you can run the football. Pittsburgh looking well. Maybe even looks like they might be the favorites right now to win the AFC North. And I believe they win this week. And I think they just blow the doors off the Kansas City Chiefs on prime time. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, as I said, win on Monday Night Football. All right, rest of the matchups for the week. Indiana at Jacksonville. Very, very emotional speech last week. I don't know about you, but I got very moved. On Chuck Milano talking to his team last week after his cancer. And just this team's rolling right now. This might sound crazy, but I think the Colts will be a playoff team this year. And nothing crazy. I think they're not going to beat the Texans, obviously, but I think they can get there as a wild card team. And they're playing Jacksonville. And this one, I think, won't be close, as I think the Colts lay a beatdown on the Jaguars in prime time on Thursday night. San Diego at Tampa Bay. I'll take Tampa Bay at home. Of course, we talk about the West team traveling east, 1 o'clock start. San Diego does not travel well. It's called for this. San Diego does not travel well. And Tampa Bay is surprising. Tampa Bay looks like they could be a very good team maybe in a few years. Maybe not this year, but maybe in a few years they could be a very, very good team. So I like Tampa Bay this week to beat San Diego. Tennessee at Miami. Jake Locker coming back this week, but Tennessee has to show me some of this game, and I just think Miami's playing well, like they have the last couple of weeks. And I believe the Dolphins beat the Titans. Buffalo at New England. Earlier, Buffalo played the Patriots, and I really thought that an upset was in the making. I really thought the Bills were ready to beat a team like the Pats. I was wrong. This Bills team is horrendous. They are a very bad football team, and they're playing probably, we talk about the Texans being the best team in the AFC. Well, New England's probably number 2. So I think the Pats beat the Bills. Oakland at Baltimore. I will take Baltimore. Oakland's playing well. Oakland's in games this year. They seem to lose at the last second every week, but I will take the Baltimore Ravens to beat Oakland. Denver at Carolina. Of course, we have here on Ducks No Sports, we have a Cam Newton ban. So I will take the Broncos to beat the Panthers. New York Giants at Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's a good team. I really believe they are. But Andy Dalton's not having a good year. He seems to have a sophomore slump, and they're not winning games. A lot of the close games they won last year, and now they seem to be losing those close games. And you talk about winning close games. Who wins more close games than New York Giants? So I will take the New York Giants to win this game. Detroit at Minnesota. Tough game. Both, Minnesota started red hot, now starting to come back down to earth. And Detroit's won a few games in a row, yes, against bad opponents, but I do think Minnesota at home in the Metrodome will get it done against the Detroit Lions. New York Jets at Seattle. Jets don't travel well, and Seattle's one of the best home teams in the league, so this one's not easy to figure out. I'm going with the Seahawks with the 12th man in full effect. Dallas, I feel a tough game, but I will take at home. I will take a desperate Philadelphia Eagles team. And our final game, St. Louis at San Francisco. I will take the San Francisco 49ers because they seem to, after they went a little slump there, but they seem to be back playing the way they should be playing. I don't think San Francisco rolls right over the improving, but yet still crappy St. Louis Rams. But remember to keep track of my picks, as last week I went an impressive, an astounding, a legendary 12-2. So very good. Bring my overall record to 85-46. So I'm putting a lot of good weeks together. It seems to be coming together now. And yeah, we'll see how this week happens. But till next time, I'm Andrew Dukesbury saying I'm Ducks. And I know sports. Kind of.